Evening again, folks. This is Bill, the new deadly snakebite. Beginning to like that name. uh, I hung around a bunch of deadly snakes years ago, but not by choice. So I want to talk about a little bit of the history of the Knights Templar. And that's why this is called Part 2. Because in the first part, I went over a whole bunch of the pictures that I thought were very good. I've enjoyed. I enjoyed looking at Templar material. These guys were the poor fellow soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon. I'm not even going to try and do the Latin. Actually, I failed Latin. Uh, but they're also known as the Order of Solomon's Temple and the Knights Templar, or simply the Templars. This was a Catholic military order, one of the most wealthy and popular of the Western Christian military orders. They were founded in 1119, headquartered on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, and existed for nearly 2 centuries during the Middle Ages. Officially endorsed by the Roman Catholic Church by such decrees as the Papal Bull Omni Datum Optimum of Pope Innocent II, the Templars became a favored charity throughout Christendom and grew rapidly in membership and power. Templar Knights, in their distinctive white mantles with a red cross, were amongst the most skilled fighting units of the Crusades. They were prominent in Christian finance, non-combatant members of the order, who made up as much as 90% of their members. They managed a large economic infrastructure throughout Christendom. They developed innovative financial techniques that were an early form of banking, building a network of nearly 1,000 commanderies and fortifications across Europe and the Holy Land, and arguably forming the world's first multinational corporation. I think that's pretty interesting in itself. The Templars were closely tied to the Crusades. When the Holy Land was lost, support for the order faded. Rumors about the Templars' secret initiation ceremony created distrust in King Philip IV of France. While being deeply in debt to the order, used this distrust to take advantage of the situation. And in 1307, he pressured Pope Clement to have many of the order members in France arrested, tortured into giving false confession, then burned at the stake. Under further pressure, Pope Clement V disbanded the order in 1312. The abrupt disappearance of a major part of European infrastructure gave rise to speculation and legends which have kept the Templar name alive into the present day. Now I have a list here of what is supposedly known as the 9 original Templars. There was Hughes De Payens. He lived from 1070 to 1136. He was a Frankish knight from the Champagne region. Little information about him exists, and no sources on his later career give details of his early life. But however, Hugh was a founding member and the first Grand Master of the Knights Templar. He created the Latin rule, the code of behavior for the order. And Hughes De Payens left no descendants. Then we have Godfrey de Saint Omer. He was a Flemish knight and a founding member of the Knights Templar in 1129. Many colonial immigrant Americans and their descendants can claim his heritage. The next one, number 3, is Andre de Montebard. He lived from 5 November 1097 to 17 January 1156. He was from the Burgundy region. And he quickly rose in rank and became a deputy and second in command to the Grand Master. Then we have Hugh, the third son of Theobald II. He was married twice. He considered himself impotent, never claimed Odo as his son, who left descendants by his second wife Isabella. Instead, he transferred his titles to his nephew, who became Theobald II of Champagne. Hugh became a Knight Templar in 1125. Then we have Geoffrey Besaul, who's a founding knight, but no information has been found, and apparently little is known of his origins. Next we have Archambault de Saint Amand, who is a founding knight, but no information has been found. Apparently little is known of his origins. Then we have Payen de Montdidier, who is related to Counts of Flanders and a founding knight of the Knights Templar. And he was one of the richest and most important, the center that he established. The next one is Rosal. He was a monk and a founding member of the Knights Templar, but no other biological or biographical information was found. Apparently little is known of his origins. And the last of the 9 is Gandamar, or Gandamar, a monk of Portuguese origin. He was a founding member of the Templar Knights, and he is listed as one of the masters of the Knights Templar of Portugal, but no other biographical information was found. So one begins to think what happened. There certainly had to be plenty of information at one point in time, but when the French king had them all tortured and murdered, I'm sure that lots of documents were destroyed, a lot of information was destroyed, and therefore we are stuck with nothing but rumors from that era. The story of the 9 original members would not be complete without reference to someone named Warmond de Picigny, who is also known as Germond, a crusader and Latin patriarch of Jerusalem. He was regent of Jerusalem during the captivity of Baldwin II. Warmond was approached by a group of Christian knights who requested permission to elect a master to lead them to defend the kingdom. Hughes De Payens was chosen as the first master of the Knights Templar. Warmond charged them with the duty of keeping the roads safe from thieves and others who were routinely robbing and killing pilgrims en route to Jerusalem. Warmond's descendants include Henry I, King of Navarre, and his daughter Jeanne, Princess of Navarre, who married Philip IV the Fair of France, grandparents of Edward III, King of England. Many colonial immigrant Americans and their descendants can claim this heritage. Now the question is, were there closer to 31 original knights as indicated by Michael the Syrian? And there is a link, www.theknightstemplar.org. So there's a lot more information out there to study. There was too much for me to study and learn. That's why I'm reading part of it. But I wanted to add some written word and more insight to the Knights Templar, because of the first part I did was mostly graphical. So here we go again. Another one, as they say in Hollywood, another one in the can. Semper Fi.